Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today is mine and Puffin's 8-year anniversary, so I thought that I would get ready on camera and show you guys what I am going to look like for our date night, and also, share a few little stories as we go along, so like a chit chat, get ready with me, full face, anniversary, all of that. So if you want to see how I created this look, just keep watching. For foundation, I'm going to go in with my La Mer Soft Fluid in the shade Linen. I have been using this, the La Prairie, and the Ultra HD from Makeup Forever the most. I recently picked this one up for just some random reason, and I basically just kind of haven't put it back down again. I don't know why. I go through these phases with my foundations, but it's always been one that I've really, really liked. I have no idea what Puffin and I are doing today. No idea. He asked what I wanted to do, hey, what da, 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 and I was like, you know what? I don't want to plan it. I don't want to know what we're gonna do. I don't even care if it's just going out to eat. I don't care if we do the whole day together. I just don't want to know. For our second date, I remember him texting me and he told me that he wanted to see me again after obviously the first date. And I was like, okay. He was like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know, but if you want to see me badly enough, you'll make it happen. Literally, that's what I said. And I think I was just so tired of, guys being like, oh, what do you want to do? Well, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go to eat? No, where do you want to go to eat? I just wanted somebody to take some initiative and, surprise me, I just wanted to see what would happen if he just had to go off of nothing, basically. Now I'm going to go in with my Too Faced Born This Way Super Coverage in the shade Vanilla, which is going to have to change soon. I'm going to have to lighten this color up. I'm really close to using this up though, so I want to finish it, but I'm going to have to go down a shade soon. Anyway, so he texts back and he's like, are you available tonight? And I was like, yeah, sure. And he bought playoff tickets for the Predators. The day of the game, playoff tickets for the Predators. And I'm not really into hockey. I like going to the games because I think it's cool to watch. I don't watch it on TV. I don't keep up with it or anything like that. But it was so different than anything anybody else has ever done. I was expecting, oh, well, I got some reservations at this place, blah, 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 or this or that. But I thought that was so cool. And I was like, I can't believe he just did that. So that was our second date. And I just remember being like, I don't know, when you just can't stop looking at somebody? Yeah, it was kind of like that. Kind of. It was like that. Huda baking powder in the shade Pound Cake. And then I'm going to use my Chanel Natural Loose shade number 30 for setting the rest of my face. Now, I remember the rest of that night, I don't know, I feel like we stayed out forever in Nashville, and we were in his car just talking, and does anybody know the band The Bloodhound Gang? And not just their popular song that made on the radio. If you've ever really it's a kind of a raunchy little band. And he played this song, and he told me later it was a test to see if if I thought it was funny or not, or to see how I reacted to it. And of course I thought it was hilarious because I think that some things that are inappropriate are hilarious, I like to think that I have a little bit of a sense of humor, and we ended up eating at McDonald's because, well, we stayed in the car talking and doing absolutely nothing for so long that nothing was open by the end of the game and everything else. And I just remember, and this is 8 years ago, well, 9 years ago, and it was crazy, you know? You don't really get that feeling a lot with people. And I remember thinking, I was like, oh, I'm screwed, because I didn't want to get married again. And this is another little date that we had. We were at his parents' house and we were going for a walk, and I told him, like, you know, we were dating. I don't remember how long we were dating for at this point, but I was like, if you are ever wanting to get married again, I'm not the girl for you. Like, because I really thought that I was never going to get married again. I got married really young. I was dumb. It's just, you know, I made a mistake, got married really young, and then I stayed in that marriage because I was like, oh, I don't want to be a failure. I don't want to, you know, divorce him and, you know, blah, blah, blah. He's a good guy, you know, that kind of situation. But so I guess in my head, I was like, you know, I don't want anybody to stay with me that doesn't actually want to stay with me. And so I don't want to get married again, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, okay, you know, he didn't say much about it. And it was funny because 6 months later we were engaged. Funny how that works out. For bronzer, I'm kind of going to mix two. So I'm going to use the Jouer bronzer in light medium first, but I want it to be just a little bit darker because, like, if we're going to be out at night or anything, I just want it to be just a little bit more zhuzhed up. So I'm going to go in also with Rosewood after I apply the Jouer because I'm going to be extra. And I'm going to be using a 126 from Zoeva. Another story, like, I just remember all these little things. So I really enjoy, like, hiking, and I love the lake. We live on the lake. I love all those things. You wouldn't think that I would be like an outdoor kind of girl, but I am. Like, I really do enjoy those things. And we had gotten a dog. We no longer have this dog. It's a whole another story, but this was, again, 9 years ago. And we were at the lake and on these rocks that were pretty high up, not like cliff, well, not like cliff status, but almost cliff status. And we were walking around up there, and he had his favorite pair of Ray-Bans, right? This kid loves Ray-Bans. I can't tell you how many pair of Ray-Bans he has, and hats and t-shirts. Like, he buys them and buys them and buys them. He has so many of them. But anyway, so he was going to lean down for something. I don't remember what it was. He had his sunglasses, and they're his favorite pair he's ever had. I couldn't tell you how many times he had told me that before we ever even went on this specific date. And he gives them to me. He says, hold on to these because I'm going to go over here. He's doing something. He goes, I don't want to drop them in the water. I had the dog also, and I had put his sunglasses in my t-shirt, so like they were holding on to him like that. Well, the dog, I lost the leash, I think, and so I went to grab the leash, and I bent over, sunglasses off the shirt, onto the rock, slid down into the lake. Yep, I did that. And I can tell you, to this day, he still talks about his favorite Ray-Bans that ended up in the lake. I thought I was going to go in with this, but I feel like I was talking and added quite a bit of this, the first one. So I'm going to wait to apply. Like, if later on I'm feeling like I need a little bit more, I'm going to go in with this, but I think that I might have added just enough of the Jouer. I'm also going to go in and take this shade right here on my Tom Ford number 13. No, this is a number 11. And just take it down the side of my nose. So there's another story which happened recently while he was in Puerto Rico. Well, I had always felt bad for losing his Ray-Bans. And, you know, he was such a trooper about it. He wasn't mad at me. He just gave me a bunch of crap and still gives me a bunch of crap. But I always felt so bad. So I think it was either last Father's Day or the Father's Day before, I bought him what I thought was like the closest thing to those Ray-Bans, and they were like this light blue. They had like really pretty shift to them, and he loved them. He's still like, well, still not the ones that dropped in the lake, but you know, I love them. And he, in Puerto Rico, was going out with his buddies and was at a restaurant pretty late at night, and he took his sunglasses off because when he went it was sunny, and then when he was going to leave it was not sunny anymore. So what do you not think about when it's not sunny outside anymore? Sunglasses. For blush, I'm going to go in with a little bit of Tom Ford Inhibition. So obviously we know he left his sunglasses at the restaurant, and then the next day, like, I didn't know at that point. It wasn't until he had gone back to the restaurant to see if they were still there, or if, you know, someone had picked them up or anything, that they weren't there. So the sunglasses I bought him for Father's Day, he lost. So I say that we are even now. But I was like, he's like, I feel so bad. I was like, well, I guess we're square, because, you know, I did drop yours into the lake. So, you know, there's that. But I can't decide between Hollow Pink and my Amrezy. I'm thinking maybe Amrezy, because I've been wearing this one a lot. Yeah, we're just going to go in with the Amrezy. Linda Hallberg 306. It just never disappoints. Another story. You guys, I don't know if I have ever told you, you know, how we got engaged. It's kind of a funny one, because I'm stubborn and I'm a brat. So Little Miss, I'm never going to get married again, fell really, really hard. And then all of a sudden, I did want to get married, and we talked about getting married. But I'm also not very trusting with people. Like, I don't trust, you know, that people really mean what they say sometimes. You know, we have all had our instances or things that have happened in our lives that, you know, can make you not trust people. So I remember there's one, it was, it was so bad. It was on Cadence's, she turned 6. It was her 6th birthday, and we had just gotten the cake out and everything, and I walked outside because I was irritated about, I don't even remember what it was, but he came out to talk to me, and I was like, you don't want to marry me, blah, blah, blah. I was being a brat. Fully admit I was being a brat. But I'm also one of those that likes to test people. I want to see if, like, you actually care. Problems. Before I go any further, Hourglass veil to buff with. So, of course, he's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you're never actually going to ask me, blah, blah, blah. I was being a pain in the butt. And he was like, of course I want to marry you. I was like, you know, I think I sat down and I started to kind of tear up, and he went inside, got a twist tie, a blue twist tie, still have it, and he asked me to marry him right then and there. I was like, you don't mean that. And he was like, yes, I do. He's like, but you're so stubborn. He was like, I wanted to take you to our, we went on a date to a park, and that's where we kind of made it official that we were, you know, really going to be together. And he was like, I was going to take you there. I was going to go to the same place to where we actually started dating, and I was going to da-da-da-da-da-da, but you just had to do it. I was like, oh. He goes, but will you marry me? And of course I said yes, and I wore that little twist tie around for that entire day. And then the next day, we went and got a diamond implanted, like the microdermals, implanted into my finger. That's why I have a little scar on top of my star, because I didn't want like this big fancy ring. It's just not me. And of course he was completely fine with that. But we did that and then started planning our wedding. I'm going to quit talking for a few minutes and we are going to move on to the eyes. I want to use my Kevyn Nude Pop Palette in conjunction with my Marc Jacobs See-Quins in Topaz Flash. It's going to be a really easy look, but still kind of dramatic, but no lashes. So let's go ahead and zoom you guys in. Wayne Goss number 17, first shade in the middle row. I'm going to start in the crease and then work this up as my transition shade. Goss 19 and that same shade right along the lower lash line. Back in with that Goss number 17 and the third shade in the top row. Just going to deepen up the crease just a little bit. And bring it slightly upward. Again, running that shade just right along the lower lash line. Last shade, first row, Wayne Goss number 19. And I'm going to lay out the edge for the shade I'm going to put on the lid. And I'm just working this into the crease first, and then just slightly, I'm just very lightly going to blend out the edges of this once I have the least amount of product on my brush. I'm putting a little bit of powder underneath my eyes just in case I get any fallout with that Marc Jacobs shade we're about to use. Topaz Flash with my finger. I'm just going to apply this all, oh my god, look at it, all over the lid. I'm going back in with that Wayne Goss number 19 and just a tiny bit of Topaz Flash on it to help blend this up into the crease as well. I don't want there to be a super harsh line. There's going to be a line, but I don't want it to be too harsh. Doing one more little final blend with that Wayne Goss number 17, no additional product. MAC 242, first shade, last row, just right underneath the brow arch. Inner corner, last row, third shade. And then I'm going to go add on some liner on my inner rim and mascara. Okay, so I finished off the eye look with just mascara and then some inner rim liner. For the top, I used Boss from Milk Makeup, and then for the bottom, I used BCC, that nice nude right there. Now, for my lips, I have already started lining them because I can't do it on camera very well. And I used my little nub of Chanel number 34 natural liner. And now I'm going to go in with a liquid lipstick. Puffin is not super keen on anything glossy, whereas I'm like, oh, I want all the gloss in the world. So I am going to do something more matte today for him. And this is the Stila Stay All Day liquid lipstick in Caramello, but it is the sheer one. So I'm just going to top this off. And then this is the finished look. Now, I do want to just put a little thing at the end of this, and just, if you are in a marriage, remember that it's easy falling in love. It's easy going down that road and then getting married. It's remembering why you fell in love and remembering to communicate and not get too comfortable and all of those things, and connecting with one another and staying connected with one another, that really can help make your marriage last. And I'm very grateful for the first 8 years with my husband, and I look forward to 60 more. You know, I don't know how long I'm gonna live, but you know what I mean. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.